But siguro we can delve more a bit into your media, journalism, background journey. How's the station doing? How's radio? How's media in general these days? Considering, of course, these days it's more on online, Facebook, TikTok. It's shifting how news is relayed, and of course, a lot of fake news here and there. And it's very different now compared to decades ago.
Yeah, actually,
So, what's new in the media scene these days?
no, actually, in the media scene, because obviously we've lost two,
Bobby Nazaro,
Bobby
and her dad,
Nazaro,
Choi
Choi
Torralba.
Torralba, and now
Key figures, of course, very familiar names.
Yeah, Leo Lastimosa is that we actually lost the station, no, DYAB, because now one of the more important things, my good, because we're basically losing most of the media now. CNN is closed. SMNI is even has this issue. ABS-CBN obviously gone to the wind. So we only have GMA. So that's DYSS. Now, the thing is, the people now, some of the older ones, obviously, the younger ones will obviously check their phones. Check
Some
the
are
news.
still old school, so still the traditional way.
That's why the traditional ones, these are the ones who don't look at social media.
Newspaper.
They will say like, the newspaper,
radio,
old school, newspaper, AM pa. Even no, actually FM. I think it was XFM, if I'm not mistaken. No, that's an FM station that's producing news. But now, why the older people still listen to the old media? Because they know the social media usually produces this and that and that. All of the fake news, this. So they have to do another due diligence to.
So they still revert back to
They revert back
the
to
usual, because mas trusted.
I would rather they would rather listen to an AM station rather than look at social media.
When did you start to become really active with that? Since your dad passed, ikaw ni take over? How
No,
did that
I actually
transition begin where you took over the program?
Yeah. I actually started, God rest his soul, no, ni DYCM, no? Si Celestino Martinez na radio station. So, si Jason Monteclar actually gave me an opportunity, no? Because I was just writing, reporting, writing, everything. But I was never interactive.
He was your boss.
He was my old boss, yeah. Once he gave me an opportunity, he's like, why don't you try commentating or broadcasting? I was really adamant.
But now you've learned the ropes, you're used to it now.
Yeah,
You're familiar.
You're talking to a microphone. Nobody's looking at you.
But many are listening.
But you know that a lot are listening. I started shaking. My first program, I was talking. I started shaking.
So your program is about 2 hours. So
now it's about 2 hours.
So you give commentating about, you're commentating usually about the landscape, the spectrum, politically.
Because the program usually, if you become a broadcaster or commentator, there are two things you have to think about. Are you reporting the news, or are you commentating about the news? When you commentate about the news, that's when you have to do due diligence. No?
Because you have to be careful.
You have to be
that
careful of what you
you're
say.
saying is accurate, it's on point. But you can also be critical, and that's why you get a lot of hate also, or
Yeah, that's really,
that happens.
That's really true. That's really true, actually.
because of your views, which might offend others.
You can't make everybody happy.
Yeah.
But
It's
as much as
impossible to
possible,
please everyone.
yeah. Because these were the three amigos, Choy Torralba, Bobby Nalsaro, and Leo Lastimosa. What I crafted my skills was based on Leo Lastimosa. God rest their souls, both of them. Leo Lastimosa has this style where you explain. You try to explain to the people what's happening. Let's say the PI, no? People's Initiative.
Yeah.
Now it became political initiative. Nobody understood what it really meant.
So
That's
he
where
explains it in
that's
layman's term.
in
Makes it
layman's
simplified.
simplified na lang yun, as much as possible. This is the style of Leo Lastimosa. This is where I try to copy myself. I don't want to be a Bobby Nalsaro, because you can say this, that. I don't want to be a Choy Torralba, because although he can explain this, that. I want to know if it's really true. But here, ni Leo Lastimosa, shout out Sir Leo, I have to study it. I don't want to say anything on air if it's not true. If there's something I listen to this and that, that's my best option, that's my best approach. So, as I said, let's say given the PI, People's Initiative, when I'm broadcasting it, People's Initiative, you only need 3%, everybody's like paying this, that. Because the 3%, for them, once you sign everything, nobody understands it. They just sign. That's why my Leo Lastimosa approach, I try to explain to them, okay, they just only need 3% for the chat to be open, no? The charter change. So it's very difficult magid sa uban mga tao na wakasabot. Sign this, sign that. Get this, get that.
So you would pattern your style in accordance with Leo's style.
For me.
For you personally.
Personally.
Which is more
Thoroughly
explained.
Explain everything.
More factual, careful.
Because Papa, Sir Choi, half. He can go through this, but he can explain this. But as much as possible, I pattern my style through.
So you want to be more objective and factual, where you do your due diligence, ensure everything's checked.
I don't want to say anything if I'm not sure.
Yeah. Only if you're sure. You can.
Only if I'm sure, I would say it. Like, no, you're wrong. No.
So you must do your research properly, accordingly.
Yeah, that's why later on, when Sir Choi was already getting sick, no, that's when I was transferred to DYRF. Sa Radio Versa. Even Sir Jason came from Radio Versa. That's why when I transferred there, he wasn't really, he didn't really mind, no. But that's when my development came, because now I have access to this, that, because of my dad. I want to ask something about this. He'll call. What's this story about this? And that's being due diligent. No, because before, I just waited for the news to come to me. Now, actually ask people, what's the story about this? What's the story about that? Just example, oh, si Teves, asa na siya? Unsaon mo na pagbalik diri na. If they say like, ayaw sagsaba, I'll just wait. Not before the style of my dad was like, even if he knows, he'll still say it. No? Pero God rest his soul.
Different styles.
Different strokes.